kuya. Ilalive ko siya habang gagawa siya ng earphone niya. Tingnan niyo siya ha. Ayan. Ang galing niya, diba? Thank you sa nanonood tsaka nag-like. Thank you so much. Isa lang pala siya, kaya pala ang tagal yung ni Mars, thank you so much. Mag-isa lang siya, kaya ang tagal yung matatapos, yung 2 oras na lang siya. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sino? Thank you, sis. DJ lang doon. Licha work na. Baliw ka talaga. Thank you. Sige lang. Work ka lang, child. Thank you, ha. Minsan lang nag-aaral-aral na akong bumalik ulit sa YouTube. Kasi, kailangan na natin bumalik. Pag di pala tayo nag-live. Pag di tayo nag-work, pwede pala tayong ma-demonetize. Kaya, kailangan mag-live tayo, sis. Live lang tayo, tsaka mag-work tayo lagi para hindi tayo ma-demonetize. Diba? We can be demonetized by our lolo. Pag hindi tayo nag-live. Kaya, mag-live tayo. Live tayo. Galing ni Kuya, no? Galing niya, oh. Mag-isa lang siya. Siya nagbitbit. Siya, he's all alone. Galing niya. salamat po. Thank you so much na andyan nanonood. Maraming salamat po. Habang tayo nagbabasa. Habang kayo ay aking binabasahan. Okay. Habang tayo ay nanonood. Nagbabasa while we are reading and waiting for him. Maganda ang pinabasa natin libro. The book we're reading is so good. Good. It says, one of a human being's greatest powers is our ability to use our thoughts to shape our reality and interpret events in a more empowering way. Yun. Kaya kailangan nating masterin ang ating emotions. Okay. Why your brain shot isn't to make you happy. Yun pala ang gawa ng ating brain. Hindi talaga. We weren't created to be happy. We were created to survive. Yun. Kaya pala dapat pag-aaralan natin mabuti ang ating emosyon or emotion ng damdamin. Kasi the quality of our lives depends on how we handle our emotions. Okay. So why your brain's job isn't to make you happy. Your brain's primary responsibility is not to make you happy, but to ensure your survival. Yan. Thus, if you want to be happy, you must actively take control of your emotions rather than hoping you'll be happy because it's your natural state. O, diba? Kaya dapat talagang hinahandle natin mabuti ang ating mga emosyon. Kasi ang araw natin, our day depends on our emotions. So, dapat you're always happy, so your day will be happy. Yun. Ano pa nga ba? Okay. Okay, let's discuss what is happiness and how it works. So, how dopamine can mess with your happiness. So, yung iba, naniniwala sila sa dopamine. So, yung dopamine is a neurotransmitter that, among other functions, plays a significant role in rewarding certain behaviors. So, when dopamine releases into specific areas of your brain, pleasure centers, you get an intense sense of well-being similar to a high. And this sense of well-being is what happens during your exercise, when you're gambling, huwag kayo ganun. When you're eating great food, when you're dancing, when you're singing, when you're doing things that makes you happy. So, yun, it rewards the behaviors, diba? Parang lutang yata ako. One of the rules of dopamine is to ensure you look for food so you don't die of starvation, and you search for a mate so you can reproduce. So, yun ang ginagawa ng dopamine. Kung hindi nyo alam yun, meron tayong neurotransmitter sa ating katawan. We have that neurotransmitter in our body that makes us feel happy. So when we do something we like, so one of the rules of dopamine is to ensure you look for food so you don't die for starvation. O nga naman, I believe in this book. This book is really good. I really suggest you read a book, Master Your Emotions. Kung meron kayong if you are in your lowest moments of your life or something you cannot overcome with yourself, you have to read a book. Read a book. Read a book. Kasi in our school, we never learned how to handle it, diba? Our school, we learned how to read, write, mingle with people, or be master with our own, yung mga goals natin na gusto nating mangyari. But, no one teaches us how to handle our emotions. So, dapat, yun ang alamin natin every day. We weren't created we're not created I think so. Ay, naniniwala ko dito na we weren't created to be happy. We were created to survive. So, yun kaya nga happiness is our inside shop. It's our inside shop. Ay, nakakangalay tumayo ha. It's so hard to sit. Kasi we have no chair here. We have nothing. Yeah. Anyway. Ayan. So, yan. You search, yan. Without dopamine, our species would likely be extinct by now. It's a pretty good thing, right? So, well, yes and no. In today's world, this reward system is in many cases obsolete. Obsolete na pala yun. In the past, dopamine directly linked to our survival. Now, it can be stimulated artificially. O nga, no? Yung mga alam natin na pinag-aralan natin, by the time, paglipas ng mga araw, through the years, it changes. So, nagiging obsolete na siya. So, in the past, dopamine directly linked to our survival. Now, it can be stimulated artificially. A great example of this effect is social media. Ayan, may social media sinasabi. Nag-love shoutout sa nanonood sa akin dyan. Thank you. Salamat ha. Let's learn something today. This is how to master your emotion. Sure. So a great example of this effect is our social media, which uses psychologically to suck as much time as possible out of your life. Alright? Or who else, who is not guilty about this, diba? Social media is getting more out of our time. Talaga, grabe. Since I downloaded Facebook and Messenger on my phone, palagi ako ganun. Before it wasn't there, nasa computer ko lang siya. So kung kailan ko lang buksan yung computer, saka ako lang nagkakaroon ng time. Diba? Anyway, so, yeah. So have you noticed all these notifications that pop up regularly in your phone? They used to trigger a release of dopamine, so you stay connected. The longer you stay connected, the more money the services make. Oo nga. Kumikita sila ng marami sa atin yun. Watching or gambling leads to a release of dopamine, which can make this activity highly addictive. Kaya pala yung iba, na-addict sila. Kasi nga, yung other people were addicted to playing games or gambling or drinking or any vices. Sorry ha. Sorry if I touch a little bit of your vices. Ako din meron. Meron lahat no one is perfect. So, ako rin meron akong vice. Alam mo kung anong vice ko? Kumain at matulog. Kumain at matulog. Anyway, yeah, kaya pala, we are addicted to those kasi yung brain natin, it releases dopamine na nagiging masaya tayo. Kaya we're addicted that. Fortunately, we don't need to act each time our brain releases dopamine. No, dapat pala kinokontrol natin yung action natin doon. For instance, we don't need to continuously check our Facebook. Yeah, tama. Huwag mo nang i-check yung Facebook newsfeed mo just because it gives us a pleasurable short dopamine. Diba? Huwag kayong maghanap ng short dopamine. Let's look for a bit stable and longer dopamine. Today's society is selling a version of happiness that can make us unhappy. Oo nga, yung version ng happiness ng society natin ngayon is, it's really a short release of dopamine in our brain. It makes us unhappy at the end of the day, diba? So we become addicted to dopamine mainly because of marketers who have found effective ways to exploit our brains. We receive multiple shots of dopamine throughout the day, and we love it, diba? Who doesn't? But that's the same thing as happiness. Worse than that, dopamine can create real addiction with severe consequences on our health. Research conducted in this university showed that when permitted to self-stimulate their pleasure center, participants did it an average of 40 times per minute. Okay, so they choose the stimulation of their pleasure center over food, even refusing to eat when hungry. Okay, so, ayan, yung, alam niyo yung Korean na lalaki na namatay, dahil sa pagpiplay niya ng game. 50 hours straight, namatay siya. Kasi, very little yung food na in-intake niya and water and has no sleep. So, it cause of death was the heart failure induced by exhaustion and dehydration. That's why he died. Kasi, yun na nga, failure nung, niya, yung heart, yung body, and yung na-dehydrate siya. So, he was only 28 years old nung namatay siya kasi addiction yun, di ba? So, to take control of your emotions, you must understand the role dopamine plays and how it affects your happiness. Oh nga. Are you addicted to your phone? Oops. Oops, I did it again. Nakakatawa nung binabasa ko mo. Sabi niya, are you addicted to your phone? Are you glued to your TV? Or maybe you spend too much time playing video games. Most of us are addicted to something. Okay, for some people, it's obvious. But for others, it's more subtle. For instance, you could be addicted to thinking. Ayan, ano yung addiction nyo everyday, guys? Ano yung addiction nyo? Kasi ako, I think my addiction is, wala, magpumatay ng oras. Yan, yun. Kasi yung pinag-aaralan dito, pinag-aaralan ko yung how to master your emotions. Kasi diba, I went to emotional breakdown this past. So, the beginning of this year, when my father died, parang nawala yung joy ko. As in talagang, I was struggling to revive it. Na kahit masaya ako, pag nasa-stop yung kaligayahan ko na yun, na umiiyak ko, yung parang ayoko bumangon, ayoko kumain, I don't wanna eat, I don't wanna drink, I don't wanna sleep, yung mga ganun. Kasi yung dopamine sa katawan ko, nawala siya nung mamatay yung tatay ko. Nung mamatay yung tatay ko, parang nawala yung lahat ng kaligayahan. Kasi ang sakit, diba? Ang hirap, it's too hard to move on. But, ayan, to better control your emotions, you must recognize and shed the light on your addiction as they can rob you of your happiness. Ayun, dapat pala, kinokontrol natin yung addiction na yun kasi it robs our happiness. So, the one day myth. Ayan, the one day I will meet. Meron ganun. So, dapat nga talagang gano'n. Kinokontrol natin yung emotions natin. Kasi ano kayo iniisip nung trabador ko? Iniisip niya siguro kung anong ginagawa ko. Okay, the one day I will meet. Do you believe that one day you will achieve your dream and finally be happy? It is unlikely to happen. Correct. Yung sabi nila, one day pag tumama ako sa loto, ganun, one day ko, ayan. It's not true. That doesn't determine your happiness. It is unlikely to happen. You may, and I hope you will, receive your goal, but you won't live happily ever after. Oo, tama yun. This thinking is just another trick your mind plays on you. Kasi yung mind natin, yung brain natin, it always plays a trick on us. Plays a trick on us. So is our emotions. So your mind quickly acclimates to new situations, which is probably the result of evolution and our need to adapt. The need to adapt continually to survive and reproduce. This acclimatization is also probably why the new car or new house you want will only make you happy for a while. O diba? Pag may bago kang something, masaya ka. But that happiness doesn't stay there forever. Saan kayo pumunta yun? Lumabas yung aking trabador. Iniwanan niya ako. Nilayasin na ba ako? Ayan. Ayan. So, your mind, your new things will never make you happy in a long run. It lasts for a day, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. Then after that, hindi ka na masaya, di ba? Kagaya niya, masaya ka kasi babago ka bahay. You're happy because you're having a new house, or a new car, or new phone, new shoes, new bags, new everything, new. Yan. But, you will never be happy in a long run with it. Diba? Diba? Ay, matatapos na yung ano ko. Once, once the initial excitement wears off, you move on to crave for the next exciting thing. This phenomenon is known as hedonic adaptation. Ayun, ang tawag pala doon, yung mga masasaya dahil may bago. Ano pala yun? Hedonic adaptation. May nalalaman si tita. Ayan, dapat, pagka may hedonic adaptation ka, anuhin mo na siya. Recognize it's a trigger of your dopamine, which will never last forever. Yan. How hedonic adaptation works. Let me share an interesting study that will likely change the way you see happiness. This study, which was conducted in 1978, di pa ako pinapanganak yata noon, on lottery winners and paraplegics, ano to? Which incredibly eye-opening for me. The investigation evaluated how winning the lottery or becoming a paraplegic influenced happiness. Ano daw? Okay, the study found that one year after the event, both groups were just as happy as they were beforehand. Yes, as happy or unhappy. You can find more about it by watching the TED Talk, okay? The surprising science of happiness. Perhaps you believe that you'll be happy once you've made it. But, as the above study on happiness shows, this is simply not true. It's not true. No matter what happens to you, your mind works by reverting your predetermined level of happiness once you've adapted to new event. Ayun, yung pala yun. Does that mean that you can't be happier than you are right now? No. What it means is that in the long run, external events have minimal impact on your level of happiness. Ayun. Yun yung, ano pala, yung external events, the impact on your level of happiness is very minimal. In fact, according to blah blah blah, the author of the How of Happiness, 50% of our happiness is determined by genetics. Ayun, kaya pala ako masayahin. So, 50% of your happiness is determined by your genetics, 40% by internal factors, and the only 10% by external factors. O, ayan, 10% lang pala ng happiness ang yung external. Aba, doon na ako sa 50%. Genetics yun, guys. So, trace your genetics. Pwede pa bang mabago ang genetics? I don't know. But, it's a habit. It's a habit. I know a habit, ini-incur mo yung sa sarili mo. How to have a habit of being happy. Sandali lang, guys, ha? Saan na kaya yun? Dali lang, guys. I-share natin tong natin, guys. Let's share this video to Facebook or sa community nyo. Kasi maganda yung topic topic ko ngayon. Maganda yung topic ko ngayon. Okay, i-share natin siya, guys. i-share natin yung ano natin. I-share natin to kasi maganda yung topic ko ngayon. Ayan, maganda siya. Maganda. Let's share this live video because my topic is very interesting. To all, to all free. Come and learn about mastering our emotions. Yay! Babasahin ko lang naman to sis, pero maganda rin makita mo, marinig nila, di ba? Yan. Share nyo naman to sa ano. Ganun talaga yung ano namin. Ganun talaga yung aking ano. Ay, manood kayo ng harang ha. It's just emotions getting me over. Sis, thank you sa andyan ka pa sis. Watch the CF. May ganun talaga. Teka lang sis ha. Watch. Asa na ba yung tao? Ayan, ayaw. Watch the... Ano yung watch? Eh, Kuya Joy. Ayan. Thank you. Ayan. Asa na ba ako sis? Ayan, I'm almost done with the print out kasi lumayas yung aking trabador. Lumayas yung aking trabador na. Ayan. So, perhaps you believe that you'll be happy once you've made it. But, as the above study on happiness shows, this is simply not true. No matter what happens to you, your mind works by reverting your predetermined level of happiness once you adapted to the new event. Okay, so ganun pala yun. So, ayan, lagi natin tatandaan na our mind is not created for happiness. Our mind was created for survival. We were created for survival. But there is something in our body that will make us happy. Ayun. Ay yung dopamine that releases that sense of happiness nga. Kaya, lagi natin tatandaan na ang happiness ay determined by genetics, 40% of it is by eternal factors, eternal yan, and only 10% of it is by external factors. Diba? Thank you. Salamat sa ano dyan. Nandyan. And, ayan. So, mauubos na yung printouts ko. Print out ko talaga to, sabi ko, one day at a time. Babasahin ko yung one chapter. I'm gonna read one chapter one day at a time. Pero ngayon, ano siya, parang ginaganaan akong magbasa ng marami, no? Okay, salamat. Ayun. Thank you. Ano raw sabi ni Marsky? Anyway, yun, tandaan natin that happiness is determined by our genetics. And 40% is by internal factors and only 10% by external factors. So, yun, yung kaligayahan nyo, wag yung idepende sa yung nakikita nyo externally. Kasi 10% of it lang dyan ang magre-retain. But 40% of it, yung sa loob pa rin ninyo, in your eternal. And 50% of it is by your genetics. So, diba? Kaya, pag masiyahin kang tao, you'll always be happy. No matter what. Ayan, echo your joy. Tapos na guys, yung printout ko ng introduction. Ayan. So, we're gonna go to, ang book ko talaga na yun is in my Kindle. Nasa Kindle talaga siya eh. Nasa Kindle siya. Andito siya sa aking Kindle. Nandiyan siya sa Kindle ko. Ayan. So, pero, print ko talaga siya para mabadala ko siya kahit saan. I'm old books eh. Gusto ko pa rin, I'm old school pala. I'm old school. Gusto ko pa rin yung old habit na niladala mo yung book tapos binabasa mo. Ayan, so yung chapter 2 niya guys is, what is the ego? Ayan, ito. Ayan siya. Ayan, what is the ego? Kasi your survival mechanism is not only factor affecting your emotions. Your ego also plays a significant role in shaping the way you feel. Ayan, kaya yung mga ego natin dyan. Ayan, thus, to gain more control over your emotions, it is fundamental you understand what your ego is and how it works. Kailangan alamin natin yun. Minsan, lahat naman tayo may ego, di ba? We were like, injected by that virus. Ayan, so now, let's clarify what we mean by ego. And we often say of someone that he has a big ego. What does it mean? Diba, nire-refer natin siya to other something close to pride. Aray, hindi ko talaga tumahawakan. That's why I like to print this out. Ayan. So, referring to the ego is something close to pride. So, while pride is undoubtedly a manifestation of ego, that's the only one part of it. You may show no pride and appear humble while still being controlled by your ego. Oo nga naman. Yung iba dyan, akala mo talaga humble na humble, pero meron silang ego at the end. Oops, baka ako yun. Ouch! So what is the ego? The ego refers to the self-identity you've constructed throughout your life. How was this identity created? Put simply, the ego was created through your thoughts and as a mind-created identity. Has no concrete reality. Ayun, wala naman pala siyang concrete reality. Wala siyang concrete reality. Ayan. Kaya, yung iba kasi marami silang ego baka ako rin marami din akong ego, ganun. Meron tayong inaalaga ang ego sa sarili natin. Let it go! Let it go! Diba? So, ayan. Thank you. Thank you sa nanonood dyan, na dyan pa din. Well, nilayasan na ako ng aking construction worker. Bakit kaya siya lumayas? So, and I have no chair here. Wala akong chair, wala akong upuan. Sasakit yung balakang ko. It's okay. So, pwede naman siguro akong maupo dito sa sahig. Dito na lang ako sa sahig mauupo. Oo nga, correct. Dito na lang ako. Maupo na nga lang ako sa sahig habang hindi pa siya dumarating. Hindi pa dumarating yung aking construction worker. Okay, so let's read it. Let's read the ego. What is the ego? Ayan, may aeroplanong dumadaan. What is the ego, guys? The ego refers to the self-identity you constructed throughout your life. How was this identity created? Put simply, the ego was created through your thoughts, and as a mind-created identity has no concrete reality. Events that happen to you bear no meaning in themselves. You giving them meaning only through the interpretation of those events. Correct, tama. Thank you, Nimarsky. Thank you for staying there. Ayan, so yung pag-i-interpret lang pala natin ng events, yun yung nagkakaroon ng meaning. Additionally, you accept things about yourself because people told you to do so. What's more, you identify with your name, your age, your religion, your political belief, or your occupation in a similar way. Okay, this attachment has consequences. Diba? Maraming consequences yung ina-identify ka ng tao because of your age, because of your name, because of your religion, and because of your political belief or your occupations. Diba? Yung iba dyan talagang akala mo kung sino kasi dahil sa occupation sila, o yung iba naman dinidegrade nyo na yung ibang tao kasi ganun lang occupations nila. Wag ganun. Boo-boo. Not like that. Ako, I'm really thankful kasi I'm thankful. I'm really thankful kasi I'm thankful. Diba? Sometimes you have to be thankful just because you are thankful. There's no reason at all. Anyway, these attachments has consequences. Yung ina-attach mo yung identity mo because of your name, your age, your religion, your political belief, or your occupation, ay hindi maganda. Hindi yan maganda. Oo. So, ayun. Anong nangyari? Panoorin natin si Echoing Joy. Huwag niyo naman ako iwanan, guys. Maghanap na ako ng maghanap nga ako asan na ba yung mga ka-group ko dito sa YouTuber? Nangawala na yata sila. Baka meron ako dito baka wala na sila lahat. Asan yung mga YouTuber friends ko dito? Anyway, hanapin natin sila. Thank you sa nanonood dyan. Sabayan nyo kong magbasa. While nilayasan ako ng aking AC. Gagawa. Yung gumagawa ng ating nilayasan nila ako. Sa mga walang arigato. Ayun pala, kinuha niya pala yung yung wire. Baka po gusto nyo maging vlogger. Thank you. Ayan, so let's continue reading our our book. Bumalik na siya. Where is it now? So, ayan. So, saan na ba ako? Dito na ako. Wala na ako dyan. Dito na ako sa page 18 na ako. Page 18 of 166. Parang 66 lang pala to. Yolanda Salvador. Mega love shoutout to you. Ayan, ibang-iba yung title ko sa ginagawa ko, di ba? Kasi, binabantayan ko siya. Sayang naman ang panahon ko while I'm waiting for him. So, inano ko na siya. Ayan. So, pinag-aaralan natin ngayon, guys, ang Master Your Emotions. So, sabi dito, ego refers to the self-identity you've constructed throughout your life. Marsky TV, mega love shoutout. Thank you. Thank you. So, pag ina-attach mo yung sarili mo sa age, religion, political belief, or your occupation, is meron siyang consequences. So, as well as later, attachment creates beliefs, and these beliefs lead you to experience certain emotions. Yung mga beliefs na yon ang nag-experience sa'yo ng emotions, di ba? For instance, you may become offended when people criticize your religion. Tama nga naman, di ba? Or attack your political principles. Di ba? Di ba? Yun yung pinaglalaroan yung emotions natin because of this. Note that throughout this book will refer to ego as your story or your identity. Okay. So, sabi dito, are you aware of your ego? Are you aware of your ego? Your understanding of the way your ego works depends on your level of self-awareness. Ayun, yun pala yun. Your understanding of your ego works depends on your level of self-awareness. Dapat pala aware tayo. Lagyan mo nga ito ng kulay. Kulayan ko siya. Ayan. No! No. Ayan. Ayan. Tapos, wala na pala siyang battery. Hi, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being there. Marsky TV, mega love shoutout. Yolanda Salvador. James Gippy. Thank you. James Gippy, mega love shoutout to you. How are you, bro? How are you? Ayan, how are you, James? How are you? I'm okay. I'm still here. Trying to survive. I have people at the lowest level of consciousness are not even aware the ego exists. And as a result, they are enslaved by it. Okay, whether you like it or not, every one of us has ego. So we have to be just aware of it. Mega love shout out, Marsky, thank you. Be just aware of it. And on the other hand, highly self-conscious people can see through their ego too. They understand how belief works and how excessive attachment to a set of beliefs can create suffering in their life. In effect, these individuals become the masters of their mind and are at peace with themselves. Ooh, diba? So pag na-aware ka pala doon sa ego mo, ayan, mamamaster mo yung sarili mo, yung mind mo, and you have peace with yourself. But don't be so addicted. Note that the ego is either good or bad. Yung pala, meron palang, there are good ego and bad ego. So don't lagi tayo sa good part. It's just a result of a lack of self-awareness. Ayun, kailangan pala aware tayo, yung self-awareness, we needed it. It fades away as you become aware of it, since ego and awareness cannot coexist. Ayun, hindi pala nag-i-exist yung dalawang ego at saka awareness. Dapat pala lagi tayong may awareness rather than ego. Ayun, dapat aware tayo, aware. Your ego need for your ego's need for an identity. Your ego is a selfish entity. Okay. Not only concerned about your survival. Yun, yeah. Yun. Interestingly, it's somehow similar to your brain in the way it operates. It has survival mechanism and will do whatever it can to persist. Ayan. As with your brain, its primary concern is neither your happiness nor your peace of mind. So yun yung concern ng brain mo. On the contrary, your ego is restless. It wants you to be a go-getter. It wants you to do, acquire, and achieve great things so you can become somebody. Ayun. So yung ego kasi is restless. Ayan. Restless. So, yan. Yan. As we already mentioned, your ego needs an identity to exist. The way it does, that is through identification with things, people, and beliefs, and ideas. Thank you so much sa mga nag-thumbs up dyan. Now, let's look at some of the things your ego uses to strengthen its identity. Yung physical items. The ego likes to identify with material things. It thrives in today's world. Perhaps we can say capitalism and the consumer society we're living in today is the creation of collective egos, which is why it has been the dominant economic model in recent decades. Marketers correctly understand people need to identify with things. They know people don't just buy a product, they also purchase their emotions, tama, or story attached to the product. Ayun, kaya nga pala yung commercial ba yun ng Honda or Toyota? What's your story? Story ang nakalagay dun. What's your story? Yung pala yun. Kasi they attach it with emotions. Okay? So often you acquire certain clothes on a particular cars because you want to tell a story about yourself, diba? So, ayun yun na nga yung mayroon akong nakita sa commercial ng TV. Yung car siya. Ang pinapalabas niya yung what's your story, yung commercial ng car. Kasi they just not selling the product, they're selling an emotion behind it. That's why yung people binibili nila. O ayan. Kaya yung mga tao, di ba, bumibili sila ng mga mamahaling product, mamahaling bagay kasi they want to tell a story. They want to tell a story to other people na yun, behind this one is I can, di ba? Yung ego, kalakip nun yung ego na behind it, di ba? So, kailangan maging aware tayo dun. Let's be aware of that. That doesn't gives us happiness in a long run. No. No, yan. Using things to create a story can identify using things to create a story you can identify with is how the ego works. It doesn't mean things are wrong, per se. It's a negative issue only when you become over-attached to material things. Yeah. Believing they can fulfill you, which they can't. They can't. No. No matter what you do, no matter how many you have, they will never fulfill you. Your body, okay. Most people derive their self-worth from their physical appearance. Your ego loves the way you look because it's the easiest thing to recognize and quantify. Okay, when you strongly associate with your physical appearance, you tend to identify more easily with physical and emotional pain. Ayun, dapat wag ka masyadong after your physical and physical appearance. Dapat hindi ka masyado with physical appearance. Kasi it tend to identify more easily with physical and emotional pain. Ayun, kaya pala, pagkakikita ko, oh my God, tumataba na ako. So, parang pinaparusahan ko din yung sarili ko na parang hindi na ako kakain or So, todo ang exercise ko kasi tumataba na ako. Pero, ano ko pala doon, ina-associate ko pala yung physical appearance na dun sa ego. Diba? Dapat hindi ganon. No, 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 no. Ayan. Believe it or not, you can observe your body without identifying with it. Oo nga, oo nga. Huwag mong i-identify yung katawan mo. Kasi pag ina-identify mo siya, ayan, kagaya niyan, pwede mo naman tingnan yung katawan mo na wala, hindi mo ina-identify, hindi mo sinasabing mataba ka na, o payat ka na, or matanda ka na, or kulubot na yung face mo. Wag. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't associate, don't associate emotional and observe your body. Kasi, with emotions, to observe your body. Kasi, you are putting ego on it. So, you have to be aware. O yan, tapos ito pa, friends and acquaintances. Ayan, friends and acquaintances. The ego also derives a sense of identity from your relationship with others. Ayan. So, the ego is only interested in what it can get from them. Okay? In other words, the ego thrives on the way it can use people to strengthen its identity. Ayan. Dapat hindi ganun. Dapat, we shouldn't strengthen our identity because we're using people, other people, yung friends and other acquaintances. 'Di ba? Kasi yung iba, diba, they are so prideful kasi kilala nila si ganito or relatives nila si ganito or baka kamag-anak nila si presidente or what. So anyway, they thrives, their ego thrives on that way. Diba? So it shouldn't be that way. No. Case. Shouldn't be the case. Ayan. So, ano pa? Ano pong mababasa natin sa book na to? Ang tagal naman niya. Ano kayong oras siya matatapos? Ayan. Okay. If you are honest with yourself, thank you! Mega love shoutout, Marsky. Sabi ni Marsky, she's still there. Yan ang aking friend na walang kaigo-igo. I love friends without ego. I mean, there is a good and bad ego, they said, right? So, let's have a good ego. Yeah. Echo. Anyway, now, if you're honest with yourself, you realize most of the things you do attempt to obtain the approval of others. O nga naman, sometimes ginagawa natin yung mga bagay na yun kasi we want the approvals of others. You want your parents to be proud of you, your boss to respect you, your wife to love you. Now, let's see in more detail how the ego works in the following cases. Halimbawa, yung parent and child relationships. Some parents' egos lead to the creation of a strong sense of attachment and identification with their children. Ayun, thanks God, wala akong ego para sa aking mga anak. I pray, ayoko nun. I pray. Some parents' egos lead to creation of a strong sense of attachment and identification with their children. This attachment is based on the false belief their children are their possession. Ayun, kaya ako wala akong ego sa aking mga anak ko kasi they are not my possession. Hindi akin yun eh. Ginamit lang ako ni God para iliwaldi sila dito sa mundo. Pero that's not my possession. Yung parang, yung iba talagang they were so attached. They're not my possession. It's God. Sabi ko sa Panginoon, sa'yo yan God. So, I am just their mom na mag-guide sa kanila at mag-help sa kanila to live and be a better person. Pero it's not mine. They are not mine. Hindi akin yung tatlong kulo. Tatlong patong lupa na yun. Kay God yun. As a result, they try to control their children's lives and use them to live the life they wanted to live when they were younger. Okay, it is called living vicariously through your children. No, you shouldn't live. You shouldn't do that vicariously living to your children. No. You see this all the next time. Next time you watch a junior soccer or baseball game, watch the parents on the touchline to see how some react. Try spotting the parents living vicariously. Vicariously. How do you pronounce it? I don't know. This is the first time I interact this word. Ano, naka-register. Ala, pinapa-register pala ako ni Marie ko eh. Hindi pa. Kaya pala ako naka-register. Yabay. Hindi pa po. Hindi pa po ako naka-register. Umaga lang ako pwede. So, early in the morning ako pupunta. The morning ako pupunta. Okay po ba? Hala, napa-register pala ako. Thank you sa panood dyan. Ayan. So, anong sabi yung word natin ngayon? Thank you. Thank you for staying, guys. Thank you. 4 kapatambay po while cooking. Thumbs up done. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks much. Thank you. Ayan. Marami nang naka-thumbs up dyan. Ano yung sabi? Ano yung may word akong nalaman clear? Vibe ito.
Vicariously.
Ayun, vicariously. You should not live vicariously with your children. Ayun. You see this all, yan. Ayan. And not merely an encouragement. This may happen mostly unconsciously. So, to all the parents out there, please be aware not to live vicariously. Okay? I don't really like that one. But I admire them, right? Couples. Ayan, interesting to. Couples. Yeah, maganda yun sa couples. Ano ba yung ego when it comes talking about the couple? Couples, the feeling of needing someone is very much a play of the ego as well. Ouch! Oo, yun pala yun. The feeling of needing someone is very much a play of the ego. Ego pala yun. Ayan. At least now I know. Diba? Anthony de Mello has a beautiful way to put it when he says, loneliness is not cured by human company. Loneliness is cured by contact with reality, by understanding that we don't need people. Ayun. Huwag kayong magsabi ng no one is an island. Iba naman ang ibig sabihin nun talaga. Gusto ko to, loneliness is not cured by human company. Loneliness is cured by contact with reality. Ayun, dapat talaga awareness and yung reality, lagi silang magkasama. By understanding that we don't need people. We don't need people, actually. We don't need people. Ouch! Once you realize you don't actually need anyone, you can start enjoying people's company. O, diba? No, diba? Din yung duality in life. Diba? Na ayun, dapat palang marinig ito ni little brother. Ayan, you don't need anyone. You will, once you realize you don't actually need anyone, you can start enjoying people's company. You can see them as they really are rather than trying to get something from them. Ayun, kaya dapat talaga aware tayo sa good or bad ego. Yung sinasabi niya dito, bad ego pa lang, di ba? Ano yung good ego? Wait for that. Your beliefs. Okay, your beliefs ha, ito na. Your ego always uses beliefs to strengthen its identity. In extreme cases, people become so attached to their beliefs that they are ready to die to protect them. O, diba? May mga ganun talagang attached na attached sila sa beliefs nila hanggang sa gusto na nilang makipagpatayan para, di ba, yung sa mga politics to protect them. Worst, still, they are willing to kill people who disagree with them. Oo nga, yung mga naging unfriend dahil sa mga politics. Ayun, religion is a perfect illustration of the danger of excessive attachment to beliefs. Oo, religion din. Religion, yung merong mga taong nagiging distant sila, nasisira yung relationship nila dahil sa religion, di ba? Which is not, shouldn't be the case dapat, di ba? The ego will use any belief to strengthen its identity. Whether these beliefs are religious, political, or metaphysical, dapat we are aware of it. Hala, nag-iindam kami ng meat. Nag-iim ang aga nun. Okay po. Dadaanan ko ba yun? Kinagay yun na ba yung isa? Hindi pa. Gutom na ako. Ayan, I'm hungry now, guys. Thank you! Pinalalahanan niya talaga akong wear comfy shoes. Kasi alam niyo, baka mag-high heels na naman ako. Ayan, thank you for the reminders. Ang bait ng aking friendship. Sasama si BFF. Ayan. Let's enjoy vlogging, guys. Let's enjoy vlogging. See ya. Ayan. Ayan, so now other objects of identification. Now let's have a look at a non-exhaustive list of things your ego generally derives from your body, your name, your gender, your nationality, your culture, your family, your friends, your beliefs, political, your personal story, your interpretation of the past, your expectation regarding the future, your problems, illness, financial situation, victim mindset, etc. Your age, your job, your social status, your role as employee, homemaker, parental status, employment status, material items, your health, your career, your desires. Those are other factors that affects your egos. So the ego's main characteristics, here are some main aspects of the ego. The ego tends to equate having with being, which is why the ego likes to identify which objects. Tapos na siya dito sa isa. Doon naman siya sa kabila. Siguro isang oras na dito gagawin sa kabila. Okay. So, ayan, gumagana na yung cooler. May cooler na tayo. Yay! Ito yung malaki, right? Maingay siya. Maingay pala siya. Maingay pala siya.大丈夫？
うん、大丈夫です。一応の試運転なんで、このまま20分間置いててください。
あ、
で、その後普通にお使いいただいても切っちゃっても大丈夫なんで。
20分。
そう。
Okay.
20
minutes.
20 minutes。
Okay. じゃあこれ。
あ、大丈夫、大丈夫、大丈夫。で、これ、付属品、リモコン、蓋、保証書、フォルダとビス。
Okay. あ、これ何？
これお客さん、これは掃除機。
ああ、わかりました。
これ、カチンってはめて、
掃除するの？
急に。
それで掃除するの？え、
そう
すごい。
これで掃除する。
ああ、ありがとう。じゃあこれもらいます。ありがとう。ありがとう。
この方なんですか？
I'm from the Philippines.
フィリピン。
Yeah.
リサヤ、タガログ。
Tagalog.
タガログ。ああ、
Still?
少しだけ、でもほとんどわかんない。ほとんどわかんない。
Itaru?
ね。
Ah, itema.
そうなんかさっきずっと英語喋ってたから。
Ah, thank you, Steve. Ano yun? Ako. Arigatou gozaimasu. Japanese. Hi, dozo. Okay, so yan si Kuya. Okay. Malamig na siya. Kaya mag-ginaw siya, guys. It's cool. It's cool now. Ano sa sushi? It's cool na siya, guys. It's cool na kasi meron siya cooler. So, yun eh. Ang galing niya, di ba? That's good. Thank you.
あ、そう待ってね。大丈夫だっけ？Be careful。違う、なんだっけ？わかんない。俺わかんない。
Be careful.
大丈夫。心
これ
配ない。
大丈夫かなね？
あ、それ大丈夫です。
見たほしいのかな？大丈夫？
うん、大丈夫です。
大丈夫？
そう、それはちょっとしょうがない。
あ
そう、カバーつけると高いから。
あ。カバーす。あ
カバー、この内側にカバーつけると高いんですよ。
あ。
そう、これが通常。
ありがとう。大丈夫よ。Okay, so doon naman siya sa kabila gagawa. It will take an hour. So meron pa tayong 1 hour to read our book. Yay! Okay. 20 minutes siya daw. Ayan, umalis na siya. Umalis na siya. Ay, kukunin niya naman yung isang aircon. Okay. Okay! Bukas na yung cooler natin. Bukas na ang cooler natin. Meron na tayong heater. Heater. Cooler in summer. Yay! Okay. Okay, now, Ego's main characteristics. Here we go. Who else are there? Ayan, si Momas Momas. Thank you so much, Momas Momas. Thank you so much sa pagbisita. Guys, tikitan natin si Momas Momas, please. Ayan, ginawa ko na siya, moderator. Meron ka ng jacket, Momas Momas. Guys, tikitan natin yung si Momas Momas, please. Tikitan natin si Momas Momas. Kung nandyan pa kayo at you are, walang ginagawa dyan, tikitan natin siya. So, ito yung main characteristic. Nag-aaral tayo ng how to master your emotions. Oo, maluwang nga siya. Maluwang to para dun sa mga Junakis ko. Tig-iisa silang kwarto. Tapos, may kusina, tapos may living room, tapos malaki yung CR niya. Malaki yung comfort room. Gusto ko yung ganun, yung pagpasok mo sa comfort room, para siyang isang room. Malaki yung niya, yung toilet, tsaka yung bathroom. Tapos yung cloakroom na andun. Para sa atin sa Pilipinas, malaki yung toilet. Gusto ko lang ganun, malaki yung toilet. And the rest is okay, wala akong care. Anyway, pinag-aaralan natin dito yung yung how to master your emotions po. Ayan. Thank you so much po. Thank you. Thank you sa nandiyan. Maraming salamat po sa mga nag-i-stay siya. So, sabi dito, the ego's main characteristics, here are some of the main aspect of the ego. The ego tends to equate having with being, which is why the ego likes to identify with objects. Itabashi ko. Itabashi ko to. Itabashi ko. Taga-itabashi ko yung aking, taga dito siya. Itabashi ko siya. Yung dito yung pamilya nila. Tsaka yung mga parents niya. Kaya dito na sila. Ang ganda pati ng beranda. Ang ganda ng beranda niya. Ang ganda ng beranda dito. Ang ganda. Kasi, siya. Ang lawak-lawak. Ang lawak-lawak ng beranda niya. O, tingnan mo. Lawak-lawak niya. Hanggang doon. Hanggang doon. Hanggang doon sa pinakadulo. Hanggang dito. Ang lawak-lawak yun talaga. As in, pwede kang dito. Magtakbo o tataba o tatakbo. Lawak-lawak ng beranda niya. Ayan o. Ang lawak-lawak. Lawak-lawak ng gagardenan ko dito. Medyo maganda rin naman yung ano dyan, yung view doon sa labas. Maganda yung view niya doon. Oh. Maganda. Tsaka maganda yung ano, ayan, maganda yung view niya guys. Yeah, maganda pag titingnan, paglalabas ka sa veranda, titingnan ka sa may mga puno, ganyan. Tapos meron din siyang, oo, malapit din po. Meron din siyang ano dyan. Yan. May ginagawa dito, for sale daw yung ginagawa niya. So, maganda yung mga kapitbahay doon, oh. Maganda. Gusto ko yung mga kapitbahay doon, oh, yan. Kahit dun sa kabila, dun sa kabilang room, ano siya, malaki din yung veranda dun sa kabilang room. Malaki. Ang ganda kasi nasa corner yung bahay. Nasa corner siya, itong bahay na to, nasa corner. Nasa corner siya nung building. Kaya pag kalabas mo dito sa ano, veranda, malaki talaga siya. I really like it. Ayan, paglabas mo dito sa veranda, ayan. Malaki siya, o ayan. Ang lawak niya. Ang lawak-lawak niya. As in, lawak-lawak niya po. Ayan. Lawak-lawak niya. Sa amin lahat yan. Sa amin lahat to. Ayan. Ayan. Hindi siya masyadong fancy at hindi siya masyadong masyadong social, pero malaki siya. Malaki siya. That's the most important thing, di ba? Malaki siya. Malaki siya. O, gokay. Gokay lang siya, gokay. Malaki po siya. Yun ang gusto ko dito kasi malaki siya. Malawak talaga siya. Malawak siya. Tsaka yun, di ba? Kung ako ang gusto ko lang talaga sa bahay, malawak. Hindi ko gusto kung anong meron sa bahay. I don't mind whatever is in the house. Ang gusto ko lang yung parang nakakahinga ka, malawak. Hindi naman yung masyadong malawak kasi mahirap maglinis. Mahirap mag-maintain. Maganda lang yung ayun, sarado ko pala. Maganda lang yung mag-ano ka. Nakakahinga ka. Nakakahinga. Sarado ko pala siya. Yan. Sarado ko pala siya. Tapos lalagyan ko siya ng curtain. Lalagyan ko pala siya ng cortina. Ano sino nga ba yung cortina? Lalagyan ko pala siya ng cortina. Hindi ako marunong maglagay ng cortina. Hindi ako marunong maglagay ng cortina. Diba? Ayan, guys, commercial muna tayo ha. Huwag muna tayo magbasa ng book. Kasi, maglalagay muna tayo ng cortina. Hala, paano ba maglagay ng cortina? Ayun, meron siyang mga Kasi yung cortina, oo, simple is beautiful. Maganda yung simple lang kasi pag malaki yung bahay mo, malaki rin yung lilinisin mo. Tapos wala naman tao, di ba? Wala naman tao dito sa Japan, di naman tinatauhan yung bahay. Lahat nasa labas, nag-work, matutulog ka lang, saka kakain ka. Tapos pag kinabukasan, naalis ka na ulit, di ba? Mag-work ka na ulit. Diba? So, hindi mo kailangan ng malaking bahay sa Japan kasi unang-una, ikaw din ang maglilinis niyan. Mahirapan ka sa sarili mo maglinis yan. Bahala ka. Tapos, hindi mo na kailangan ng kung ano-ano. Kasi unang-una, ang bahay mo, tinutulugan lang yan. Tinutulugan. Hindi siya, ayun. Naku, patay, paano ba ito? Paano ba maglagay ng cortina? Hindi yata ako marunong maglagay dito. Paano ba ito? Ano ba yan? Ano ba yan? Oy, pumasok ka! Hindi ako marunong magpapasok! Hindi ako marunong magpapasok! Paano ba magpapasok dito? Ayun, pumasok din. Pumasok din siya. Pumasok siya. Pumasok din. Isa ayaw pumasok eh. Yan, pumasok din siya. Ayaw pumasok eh. Ayan, yun. Hindi ko siya malagyan ng kurtina kanina kasi may gagawa ng aircon. Gagawa ng aircon. Ayun, hindi ko siya malagyan. Ngayon, umalis na siya ba? Ay, bakit ganun? Ayun, diba? Ganyan yung diba? Hindi ako marunong magawa ng kortina. Okay. Okay. Thank you po. Enjoy! Enjoy sa ano. Enjoy your day. Kailangan ko pa nalagyan to ng kortina. kasi, ayun. Dito kasi maliwanag masyado. Diyan ang araw eh. Diyan ang araw. Pag may araw siya, maliwanag siya masyado. Ayun. Dapat pala may kortina siya. Ayan. Oh, may kortina siya. Para ano. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lang pala yun. Eh, ang dami pala nitong sinasabitan. Ayan. Dito. Ay! Hindi ako marunong magpapasok. Ay! Hindi ako marunong magpapasok. Ano ba yan? Dugay na sa Japan. Ito pang niraray. Ayun, nahulog. Nahulog yung isa. Sabi ko na nga ba, hindi ko ito mapapasok eh. Ayan, bahala yan dyan. Hindi ko na mapapasok. Ayan. Kasi pagkalagay ka ng cooler, ilagay mo yung kortina. Sabi. Ayan. Ayan. Ito, ayan. Nalagay ka ng kortina. Saan kaya napunta yung ano na yun? Yung gumagawa, hindi naman naintindihan. Ako nga rin, hindi pa kumakain. Baka lumayas yung kumain. Ay, naku si kuya, oh. Ako nga rin, hindi pa kumakain eh. Tapos iniwanan niya ako dito. Loko yun ah. Iniwanan ko din siya. Wait na lang, malagay ko itong kortina na to. Ay, nahulog! Ay, nahulog! Hindi ko kasi maikabit to eh. Ay, bahala yan. Hindi ko maikabit yung dulo. Sige po. Thank you sa nanonood dyan. Simple is beautiful. Tama, di ba? Ayan. Dapat dito may magnet siya. Alam ko. Ayan, tapos ikakabit ko itong isa na ito din. Kasi, ayan. Dito yan siya. Gusto ko sa, ano kaya to? Baka mamaya bitin din to ah. Eh, hindi naman siya bitin. Ayan. Ayan, hindi siya bitin. Ayan, hindi ko talaga siya mapapasok dito sa pinakauna. Bahala siya. Oh, hala, ito. Ayan, dito pa. Hindi ko mapapasok yung kortina sa pinakauna eh. Ayoko ng ano. Ganun dapat ang pagkabit ng kortina. Maganda. Paano ba? Binababa siya eh. 1, 2, 3. Ayan, dapat yung gano'n. Ayun. Thank you guys sa nandyan. 1, 2, 3. Ayan. 1. I don't know how to put curtains actually. Ayan. 1, 2, 3. Ayan, dapat ganun. Para, ano siya. Para, hindi siya, ikita yung, ay! Ay! Hala! Nakakainis na ulog. Ayun. Ayun. Ganun siya eh. Alam ko may ganyan siya. Thank you guys, na nandyan pa rin. Ayan. Tinayasan na ako nung nagkakabit ng earphone. Bakit ganun si kuya? Alam na ako, hindi pa rin kumakain eh. Ayan. Lumayas na siya ba? Bahala siya dyan. Hindi pa nga rin ako kumakain. Ayan. Mahirap din palang maging interior designer. Taga-kabit ng kortina, mahirap din pala yun. Malit pa yung kabit ko. Ayan. Hindi ako marunong. Ayun. Basta isulok mo lang siya dyan. Ayan, kaya rin na yan. Kaya alam ko, isa hindi ko talaga siya mapasok dun. Dapat mapasok siya dun eh. Ayan o, di ba? O, may kurtina na. Ayan o, yan. Dito sa kabila. Sa kabila. Malamig na dito. Malamig na siya, guys. Malamig na siya. Lumarski. Eh, naka-sleeveless pa naman ako. Lamig kaya. Hala. Malamig siya. Malamig siya ni Lumarski. Malamig. Ano kayo ginawa ni Kuya dito sa cooler na to? Ang lamig niya. Tinetesting niya daw 20 minutes na dapat nakabuka. Ay nako. Pag okay na daw, yun. Siguro after 20 minutes siya babalik. Ang daya nun ah. Ako nga hindi pa rin kumakain eh. Alas 9:30 pa lang naghihintay na ako sa kanya. Dumating siya, alas 12 na. Wala. Paano yan? Nangyari dito. Yan. Ayan. Ah! Napasobra. Pag pinagahan mo siya, lalampas kayo. Ayun. Dito din siya. Tama ba? Tama kaya yun? Bahala niya. Yan, tama yun. Ayun. Yun siya. Tapos, ito siya. Segundo. Ayan. Ito siya eh. Paano ba ito? Hindi ko makita. Ayan. Yan. Madilim na kasi may kurtina na. Yan. Ayan. Ay, saka. Ayan. Okay na. Oh, ayan, solved na. May kurtina na tayo ni Marsky. Hindi naman siya, di ba? Hindi naman siya bitin, di ba? Di ba siya bitin? Hindi naman siya bitin eh. Kasi bitin to magsukat ng kurtina eh. Bakpasi talaga. Bitin siya, no? Hindi ko talaga tumapasok mo sa dito mo. Bahala yun dyan. Ayan, okay na. Magpatina na sila. Isa na lang. Ayan. Ayan. Ayan, isa na lang siya. Ayan. Magpatina na siya. Ay! Paano kaya ito tinatali? Bakit kaya itong mga jackals na to? Ganito yung tali ng kurtina nila. Walang buttons. Paano kaya ito tinatali? There should be something in this one. How do you tie this? I don't know. Maybe like that. Naruhudo. Ayan. Maybe like that, diba? Ganun palang pagtalik nun. Tagal ko na dito sa Japan, hindi ko lang na-realize na ganun ang pagtalik nun. Dito palang pagtalik niya. Yan, dito palang pagtalik. Yan. Tali natin siya para maliwanag. Hindi masyadong madilim. Kasi pag madilim, ano siya? Madilim siya. O dito, iniwanan to ni Kuya. Kayang gagawin niya dito. Bahala siya dyan. Ayan, iniwanan siya ni Kuya. Ay, nako. Bakit kaya iniwanan yun noon? Naalayas na rin ako. Nagugutom na ako, aba. Diba? Nanubihan yung sleeper ko. Sleeper ko yung sa loob ng bahay. Thank you sa mga nag-thumbsuck. Thank you sa mga nanonood. Thank you. Thank you sa naandyan pa. Dito tayo sa kwarto ni Eko-chan. Kasi, dito maganda dito tumambay. Ay, nako. Nasaan na kaya si kuya? May basurahan na tayo. May basurahan na. Ayan. Nagutom na ako. Si kuya nilayasan niya ako. Ba't ganun? Nasaan na ako? Stay siya doon. Layasan ko din kaya siya. Bahala siya dyan. Bahala siya dito. Bahala. Bakit siya lumayas? Hindi siya nagsabi sa akin kung saan siya pupunta. Sinabi niya sana na magla-lunch ako. O di sana umalis din ako, magla-lunch din ako. Ikaw lang ba nagugutom? Ito talaga si kuya o pasaway. Saan siya pumunta? Nagugutom na din ako. Ang lamig pala ng cooler hanggang dun sa ano. Ang lakas talaga palang makalamig ng cooler na to hanggang dun sa pintuan papasok, malamig eh. Ang lakas palang maka ano ng cooler na to. Ang lakas talaga niya. Hanggang dun sa pintuan ng lamig. Grabe, ang lakas pala nun. Dapat laging nakabukas yung ano na yung room na yun. Laging nakabukas siya. Siya ang pinaka main cooler sa loob ng ano kitchen. Ay, thank you sa nanonood dyan. Thank you. Thank you. Ayan. Salamat ng marami sa naandyan pa rin. Ayan. Thank you. Tapos, dikitan natin si Momas Momas, guys. Dikitan natin si Momas Momas. Baka hindi nyo pa siya dikit. Kaibigan natin siya dito. Tsaka, ano pa ba? Si Nemarski. Yan. Pahalang ko ang sipi mo. Pahalang ko para makita ang video. Ay, pahalang, pag pinahalang ko siya pag pinaganon ko ba siya? O yan, nag-aano siya eh. Meron siyang ganyan, orientation lock rotate device. May gumaganon siya eh. Kaya hindi ko na siya mapapalang. Pag pahalang siguro, pag sa una pa lang na nag-try ka mag-live, dapat pahalang na, pag ano na siya. Kasi pagka nakaganito na siya, tapos papahalangin mo, hindi siya bumabalik eh. Hindi umaano yung ano niya. No? Napansin nyo ba? Napansin nyo ba mga vloggers? Napansin nyo ba yon? Na pag sa first time na kayo nang magla-live kayo, dapat pahalang na. Kasi pagpatayo siyang ganun, hindi mo na siya mapapalang once na nag-start na yung video mo. No? Napansin nyo? Apat pag sa una pa lang, pahalang na talaga siya. Yun. Si kuya, wala na. Nawala na si kuya. Where is he? Where did he go? Don't tell me kumain siya. Eh, ako rin naman nagugutom na, di ba? I'm also hungry and he left me here. I have no food. Wawa naman si ako, di ba? Ayan, nasaan na kaya yun talaga? Hindi talaga siya umalis talaga siyang bigla, hindi siya nagpaalam. Ang saklap naman ng life. Hindi man lang nagpaalam si kuya, hindi man lang siya nagpaalam. Ayan. Bakit hindi man kortina niya doon. Gusto ko yung kulay ng kortina niya. Yung kulay ng kortina ko doon sa kwarto ko, ano, kulay pink siya. Kulay pink na parang tae. Ay, nako, ayaw ko nga nun. Anyway, wala tayong upuan. Dito tayo upo. Tayo dito sa closet. Sa closet. Hindi kaya ito magiba. Kahapon nakaupo dito yung aking anak. Hindi naman magiba eh. So, ibig sabihin, hindi rin ito magigiba ngayon, di ba? Because we're reading. We're reading my book. Yan. While waiting for him. And, I think we're gonna be, skipping our lunch. Because, lumaya siya, hindi siya nagpaalam. Diba? Sarado natin to. Biglang bumalik si kuya. Biglang bumalik si kuya. Sarado natin siya. Wala akong upuan dito kasi hindi pa kami nakakalipat. Okay. So, dito tayo upo sa closet. Dito tayo upo sa closet. Pasaway. 1, 2, 3. Hindi ako makatalon. Hindi ako makaupo. Kahapon nakita ko yung panganay ko dito natulog sa loob ng closet. Hindi ako makaupo. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yun. Ayun. Ayun nakuha natin. Hirap tumayo malamig kasi siya kaya sinarado ko malamig din. Pero siguro kailangan buksan ko nga kasi baka dumating si kuya ba. Anyway, sarado natin ng konti. Ayan. Now let's continue. Ayan, dito tayo. Dito tayo nakaupo. The ego's main characteristic. Ayan, yung pinag-aaralan natin yung master your emotions. So, ang sabi dito, here are some main aspects of the ego. Bumalik niya si kuya. Dayabu. Bumalik na siya. Samui yung soto. Samui sochi. Ayun. Hindi, papakita ko pala sa inyo paano siya gumawa. Ibibidyo ko pala paano siya gumawa ng cooler. Ibibidyo ko pala sa inyo. Papakita ko paano siya gumawa ng cooler. Yan, binubuksan niya. Binubuksan niya ang cooler. Yan. So, ayan. Dito niyo siya, tingnan niyo siya while I'm reading my book. While I'm reading my book. Diba? Dito lang kasi dito lang ang tawag dito. This is wire is here. Jama tashi. Dayabu, ay, arigato. Ayun. Dito natin siya titingnan. Diyan yung siya tingnan. Yan. Ay, ibaliktad pala natin para makita nyo rin ako, di ba? Ang lagay siya lang titingnan. Ako rin. Malamig dito. Malamig. Malamig yung tulad doon. Ayos yung nakapit. Ayan, binuksan niya na. Binuksan niya na, guys. Binuksan niya na ang kahon. Ang kahon. Ayan, tignan niyo siya, ha. Tignan natin siya. Paano niya ilalagay ang cooler? That's so good. Ne. Ayun. Pinasa niya yung manual. Binabasa din pala yun. Tinago niya. Tinanggal niya yung mga tape. Tinanggal pala yung mga tape. Tinanggal niya yung mga tape. Yes, tinanggal niya yung mga tape. Ayan, kinabit niya yung kanyang materials. Kinabit niya yung kanyang belt. Tapos, tinanggal niya yung butas. Tinanggal niya yung butas. Ay, yung glue pala. Ayan. So, tingnan nyo na lang siya guys habang naglalagay siya ng AC. Habang naglalagay siya ng AC. Ayun. And then, I'm gonna read. Naman nilagay siya dun sa taas. Ano kaya yun? Nilalagay niya muna yung yung likod. Madali lang pala. Madali lang. Yes. Nilagay niya yung yun. Ayan. Sa tatamhiya. Hindi naman pala kailangan ng cooler dito. Abot naman dito yung lamig. Bakit pa may cooler pa dito? Talagang mahal na mahal ng tatay. Manamasihan ako ng tatay niya. Hindi naman kailangan ng cooler dito. Lahat ng kwarto may cooler. Yung akin lang ang wala. Pasaway. Ba't ganun nangyari? Ngayon, habang tinitingnan mo sila, ako naman ay nagbabasa ng book. Ano ba yung book ko? Andito ko na nga nag-charge. Ano nga lang ito i-charge? No, battery. Dito din na lang kami tingnan. Ayan, o, diba? Thank you, Marsky. Thank you for staying there. Thanks. Pop. Ang galing nung aking trabador, no? Malumano siya. Mag-isa lang siya. Mag-isa lang siya talaga. Mag-isa lang siya. Mag-isa lang siyang gagawa niya. Okay, ego tends to equate having with being. Having with being. Which is why the ego likes to identify with objects. The ego likes to comparison. Yan. Ego yung compare. Yan. Your ego likes to compare itself with other egos. The ego is never satisfied with... Never satisfied. Never satisfied pala yun. Anong ginawa niya, guys? Nalagay niya yung tubo. Nalagay niya yung tubo. Ang iba. Nalagay niya yung tubo dun sa... Yung tubo dun sa... Ayan, o, diba? Pinuksan niya. Ayan, sinuot siya dun. Ayan. Sinuot siya dun. Sinuot siya dun. O, dun. Ito yung electricity. Tapos, binalatan niya. Ay, binalatan niya yung electricity. So, why not?
もう慣れですこれ。
それ勉強してるの？
これ室内機内側の機械と外側の機械つなぐコース。
Ayan. So, the ego never satisfied. The ego always wants more. More fame, more stuff, more recognition, and so on. The ego's sense of The ego's sense of self-worth often depends on the worth you have in the eyes of others. The ego needs the approval of other people to feel valued. Dapat walang ganun, diba? The egos need to feel superior. Your ego wants to feel superior to other egos. It wants to stand out and needs to create artificial separation to do that. Here are some strategies it employs. Enhancing its value through people. If you have smart, famous friends, your ego will associate with them to strengthen its identity. This is why some people love to tell others how smart, rich, or famous their friends are. Ego yun. Dapat we should be aware of that. We shouldn't have bad egos. We should have good egos. No? Ayan. So here, asa na yun? The egos need to feel superior. Your ego wants to feel superior to other egos. It wants to stand out and to create artificial separation. To do that, here are some strategies that it employs. Enhancing its value through people. Ayan. Gossiping. Ayan, gossiping bad yan. Bad. Ang gossiping bad. Huwag ka mag-gossip bad yan. People gossip because it makes them feel different and superior in some way. Ayun, yung mga tao palang nag-gossip. They want to feel different. They want to feel different and superior in some way. This is why some people like to put their people down. This is why some people like to put other people down and talk behind their back. It makes them and everybody else in their gossiping feel superior. Yung bad pala yung nag-gossip. Bad yun kasi kasama yun sa ego. Kasi pag nag-gossip ka, you feel like superior to others. But you bad. It's bad. Manifesting an inferiority complex. This hides a desire to be a better than others. Yes, even in this case, people want to feel superior. Minamanifest mo yung inferiority complex mo. Yun pala yun. Yung pala yun. To feel superior kasi may inferiority complex ka. Exhibiting a superiority complex. This hides the fear of not being good enough. May fear ka of not being good enough. That's why you want to feel superior. Diba? Looking for fame. Ito naman, looking for fame. This offers the illusion of superiority, which is why people often dream of becoming famous. Yung ego din pala yung pag gusto mong maging famous. Bad kaya yun or good? Sorry. Saka yung kumita yun, baka lumayas na naman din yung mga. Okay. Next. Ayan. So, the ego sense of self-worth often depends on the worth you have in the eyes of others. Your ego needs the... Okay. Being right. The ego loves to be correct. The ego loves to be correct. Correct in all ways. You want to be correct. どのぐらいですか
？4メーターでは確実に届かないけど、そう、多分延長1メーターで済みそうです。だから3000円。
ありがとう。そんなにかなりいろんな感じがするね。Ganun pala yun.
So, これ全部つなげる。 大丈夫ですよ。
大丈夫
全然大丈夫です。すみません。
Sino nanonood sa akin siya? Thank you. Ayun, yung being right. Yung sabi, yung feeling superior. The ego loves to be correct. It's an excellent way for it to affirm its existence. O, diba? Have you noticed that everybody, from Adolf Hitler to Nelson Mandela, believe they're doing the right thing? Most people think they are correct. But can everybody be right? Complaining. When people complain, by definition, they believe they are right and others are wrong. It works with objects as well. Have you ever bumped into a table and complained or even insulted it? I have, and the table was shocked to me. Wasn't it? Oo nga. Seeking attention. The ego lies isn't out. It loves recognition, praise, or admiration to seek attention. Ako, maglulobat na yung cellphone ko. Okay, kapit natin siya dito. Kapit natin siya dito. Kasi lobat na siya eh. Para hindi siya malobat. Sabi dyan, your ego's impact on your emotions. Understanding the way of ego can help you better control your emotions. 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 To do this, you first realize your current story is the result of a strong identification with people, things, or ideas. This intense identification is the root of many of the negative emotions you experience in your life. For instance, when life doesn't unfold according to your personal story, you get upset. Or when someone changes one of your beliefs, you become defensive. Correct. In short, most of your emotions are based on your personal story and the way you perceive the world. As you replace your current story with a more empowering one, while at the same time letting go of your excessive attachment to things, people, or ideas, you will be able to experience more positive emotions. Later, tama nga. Dapat we need to let go. Let go of excessive attachment to things, peoples, or ideas para ma-experience mo yung positive emotions. Okay, number 3 na ako. Number 3, the nature of emotions. Emotions can be tricky. In this section, we'll discuss how they work. By understanding the mechanism behind emotions, you'll be able to manage them more effectively as they arise. The first thing to understand is that emotions come and go. Come and go. One moment you feel happy, the next time you feel sad. While you do this in control over your emotions, you must also recognize their unpredictable nature. If you expect to be happy all the time, you set yourself up for failure. Tama nga. Kaya don't expect to be happy all the time. You then risk blaming yourself when you fail to be happy, or even worse, beat up yourself for it. To start taking control of the emotion, you must accept they are transient. Yan. Your emotion is transient. Transient siya. Transient. You must learn to learn them fast without feeling the need to identify strongly with them. Let it go. You must allow yourself to feel sad without adding commentaries. I shouldn't be sad. What's wrong with me? Instead, you must allow reality to just be. It is what it is. Reality to just be. No matter how mentally tough you are, you will still experience sadness, grief, or depression in your life. Hopefully not at the same time and not continually. At times you feel disappointed, betrayed, insecure, resentful, or ashamed. You'll doubt yourself and doubt your ability to be the person you want to be. But that's okay because emotions come, but more importantly, they go. Your negative emotions are not bad or useless. You may blame yourself for experiencing negative emotions, perhaps see yourself as mentally weak. You may even believe something is wrong with you. However, despite what your inner voice may say, your emotions aren't bad. Emotions are simply emotions. Nothing more. Ang ganda nito. Gusto ko talaga to. Such as being depressed that they make you less of a person than you were 3 weeks ago when you were happy. Feeling sad now doesn't mean you never be able to laugh again. Remember this, the way you interpret emotion as well as the blame game you engage in creates suffering, not emotions themselves. Negative emotion can actually be helpful. Sometimes you need to touch rock bottom before you can stop. Even the toughest people on the earth become depressed. You will not develop a mental breakdown, but he did, and he bounced back. After losing his fiancé, Abraham Lincoln was depressed for months. This strategy didn't prevent from becoming president of the United States. Negative emotion often serve a purpose. They may serve as a wake-up call. They may help you learn something positive about yourself. Of course, when you're under your spell, it may be difficult to look at the bright side of things. But in hindsight, you will realize emotions, even sad one, had a role to play in your ultimate success. The positive role of negative emotions. Your emotions are not here to make your life harder, but to tell you something you will and you will learn from. Why not? Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you sa pagsama pa rin dyan. Maraming salamat. Thank you. I'm still reading about the book of emotion. Emotions is getting me over. Thank you. How are you? Ayan. Like, without them, you wouldn't grow. Kaya pala kailangan natin ng emotions because we need it to grow. Think of your negative emotion as emotionally equivalent of physical pain. If you hate being in pain, if you wouldn't get pain, chances are you would be dead by now. Physical pain sends a powerful signal that something is wrong, nudging you to take action of some kind. It could be to consult your doctor, which may lead you to undergo surgery, change your diet, or increase exercise. Without physical pain, you wouldn't do any of these things and your situation will worsen, potentially leading to a premature death. Emotion work the same way. They signal you to do something about your current situation. Perhaps you need to let go of some people, quit your job, or remove a disempowering story that creates sufferings in your life. Tama. Remove the disempowering story that creates suffering in your life. Remove it now. Move on. The fleeting nature of emotions. No matter how depressed you are, how much grief you are experiencing, or how powerful you feel at a given point in time, they shall pass. They shall pass. it shall pass. Look at some of the negative emotions you experienced in the past. Remember the worst time in your life. During most difficult periods, you were probably so caught up with your emotions. You imagined never being able to escape them. You couldn't imagine being happy again. But even these episodes ended eventually. The clouds dissipated and the real you shone again. Your emotion count and they go. Your depression will go, your sadness will vanish, and your anger will fade away. Bear in mind, if you experience the same emotion repeatedly, it probably means you hold disempowering beliefs and need to change something in your life. Pag ito ay repeatedly again and again, holding disempowering beliefs and need to change something. If you suffer from severe chronic depression, it may be a good idea to consult a specialist. The thickness of emotions. Did you ever feel you'll never be happy again? Have you ever been so attached to your emotions you thought could never go away? Don't worry, it's a common feeling. Bakit yung nilagay mo na yun? Saan tayo na-worry, diba? Diba? Okay. So, negative emotion can act as a filter that taints the quality of your experiences. During a negative episode, every experience is perceived through this filter. While the world outside may remain the same, you will experience it in a completely different way based on how you feel. Ayun. So, ang negative emotion taints the quality of your experiences. Kaya huwag kang magkaroon ng negative emotions. If you don't want to taint on your experience. Oh my God. Diba? For instance, when you're depressed, you don't enjoy the food you eat, the movie you see, the activities in which you engage. You only see the negative side of things, feeling taped and trapped. Feeling trapped. Bakit di ko nakita yung R? Feeling trapped and powerless. On the other hand, when you're in a positive mood, everything in life appears better. Food tastes great, you enjoyed all the activities you partake in. You're naturally friendlier. You may not believe that I'm going to nourish you that came from this group. You'll never be depressed again. Wrong. You'll keep experiencing sadness, frustration, depression. But hopefully each time this occurs, you'll become wiser and wiser and remembering too that this too shall pass. This too shall pass. I have to admit, again, I may be fooled by emotions. While I know I'm not my emotions, I still give them too much credit and fail to realize they're just temporary visitors. More importantly, I fail to remember they're not me. They're not you. You are not your emotions, you know. Emotion always come and go. But I remain. Once the emotional storm has passed, I genuinely feel like an idiot for having been taken my feelings so seriously. Do you? Interestingly, external factors might not be, and often are, the direct cause of a sudden change in your emotions. State. You can be in the same situation with the same job, the same amount of money in your bank account, have the same problems as always, but experience radically different emotional state. In fact, if you look at your past, this is often what happened. You are mildly depressed for a couple of hours or few days before bouncing back to your difficult emotional state. During this period of emotional stress, your environment doesn't change at all. The Mars can thank you. At all. The only thing that changes is your internal dialogue. I encourage you to make a conscious effort to notice whenever such events happen and start seeing through your emotional history. You might want to go one step further and record these events in a journal. By doing so, you will gain a deeper understanding of how emotions work, and as a result, you will be better equipped to manage them. And this is the evil power of emotions. Kulay pink talagang kinulay ko sa kanya ni Mars. Kulay pink. An emotion usually represents an amplified energy through fire. And because of this often empowering energy changes, it's not easy initially to stay present enough to be able to watch it. It wants to take you over and use you resisted unless there is enough presence in you. Ang dami pala ng karapan na pinili ng water. Negative emotions are like a spell. Ayan. Kaya pag may negative emotions ka, i-ano mo agad yan, ang tawag doon, i-ano mo agad yan, what do you call it? Ano tawag doon? Yung, i-ano mo yung spell, i-break mo yun. While you're under their influence, breaking free from them seems impossible. You may know dwelling on the same thoughts. You may know dwelling on the same thoughts is pointless, right? Yet you can't help but go along with the flow. Feeling an intense pull. You keep identifying with your thoughts and as a result, feel worse and worse. When this happens, the stronger the pull becomes. So we can remove the negative emotions in your personal stories. So for instance, if you believe you aren't good enough, you may experience negative emotions such as guilt or shame each time you judge what you do is not good enough because you've experienced this emotion so many times before. They become an automatic response. For more, filtering power of emotions. Your emotional state can drastically affect your outlook on life, leading you to act and behave differently. When you're in a positive state, you have more energy available. This energy gives you more confidence in everything you do, an openness to consider new actions to improve your life, the ability to live or break out your comfort zone, more emotional room to persevere during tough times, better ideas and enhanced creativity, and easy access to positive emotion within the same emotional range. So when So when you are in a negative state of mind, you have less energy available given you. A lack of confidence that affects everything you do. Ayan, bawal na mag-nega. A lack of motivation that reduces the scope of actions you're willing to take. A reluctance to take a new challenge and leave your comfort zone. A reduced ability to persevere in the face of setbacks. And a propensity to act negative thoughts within the same emotional rings. Let me share you a real example from my own. Both cases happened under the same external condition. The only difference was my emotional state of time. Case number 1. Feeling excited about my online business. More confidence in everything I do. I feel through my ideas are good. I'm excited to work on my books and eager to write articles. I'm open to sharing my work and promoting. In openness to considering a course of action, I'm open to new ideas or to a new project. I can think of ways to collaborate with other authors and start building a new pushing program to offer my audience. The ability to get out of my comfort zone. It becomes easier for me to push myself beyond my comfort zone. I may contact people I don't know or run Facebook Live, for instance. More emotional to persevere, and I stick to my project even when I lack of motivation. There are ideas and I can skip to be free. I am open to new ideas and will come up with ideas for good radical. Easy access to more positive emotion. I attract more positive emotion. At the same time, my mind rejects negative thoughts more efficiently by refusing to identify. Case number 2. Feeling mildly depressed due to my lack of results. Ito yung mga case na when you filter the power of your negative emotions. Ano pala yun? Fake pala yun. Akala ko tube yun. Sabi mo na pala nung ginagawa niya. No? Hirap pala yun. Suntok pa yun yung ano. Yung feeling mildly depressed due to my lack of results, a lack of confidence, I started doubting myself in all the projects I'm currently working on. Suddenly, everything I do become useless or not good enough. Thoughts like, what's the point? I'm not going to make it. I'm stupid. Cross my mind. Promoting myself because of my potential. A lack of motivation. I don't feel like doing anything. I'm like that. I am not able to escape negative thoughts. I have the same negative thoughts again and again, which repeat like a broken chord. They seem to reel and taint my experiences. Difficulty taking on new challenges. I have little energy left over to leave my comfort and irritate. I reduce ability to persevere. I have difficulty finishing tasks and I procrastinate all the time I should be working on. Ouch! May ano yun eh. May ano ba yun? Diba meron yung machine sa likod. May fan yun ako, may ikot-ikot sa likod, diba? Saan tayo? Ayun. Doon sa labas, pupunin niya na yung machine, ilalagay niya na. Tumabi na tayo. Sore daけ最後ですか？
そうです。これで最後。そこつないで。
Sore daw, saigo daw. Galing niya, no? Galing niya. Lagay niya na yung ano dyan. Galing niya. Ay, yung isa nalagay niya sa ganun. Eh dito, paano kaya niya to ilalagay? No? Ay, yung tubig yun eh. Tubig yung ano, yung hose na yung tubig yun nalalabas dun sa ano. Kaya pala merong ganun. Ito, saan ang tubig niya? Oh my God na. Ang galing. Such emotions is getting me over. Lalagyan niya lang yun, tapos na. Thank you ni Marsky sa pagtambay dyan. Yung sa kabila, nagagawa din siya. Okay, bye-bye na.